One thing about Luffy, he does not care about titles, ranks, or who you think you are. I'm Sierra of Anime and Beyond, and today we're counting down 7 moments Luffy had to give a reality check. Imagine being fully yourself and thinking you're the most beautiful person in the world. That was the case with Alvida, who comes in our number 7 spot, and let's just say, Luffy shut that down pretty quick.
Hey Kobe, who's the fat lady?
The craziest part about it is that Luffy checked her so casually and said it without a care in the world. While funny, we definitely put this one last because this is a bit of a soft reality check, and this is really nothing compared to what else we have on this list. In the number 6 spot, we have Boa Hancock. Now, Boa is strong and beautiful, she's basically the whole package. However, Boa is guilty of using her beauty to pretty much get away with whatever she wants. As well as treat people however she deems fit. Now, a lot of people don't like Boa because of this, but I personally will give her a break because of her backstory is very tragic and sad, and explains why she is the way she is and why she doesn't think too highly of men. In short, similar to Alvida, this is also a soft reality check, but one that has a bit of a stronger message behind it. Essentially, after meeting Luffy, Boa learned that not all men are bad and or bound by lust. Coming in at number 5, we have Usopp, and a lot of people aren't going to be particularly happy about this, but this is a great example of tough love, and by extension, a reality check. Now, Usopp is a part of the Straw Hat Pirate crew led by Luffy, and his goal was to become a brave warrior of the sea. Anyway, at Water 7, things got a little bit heated. Usopp did not agree with the captain Luffy's decision to get rid of the Going Merry. The Going Merry was a ship that they used on their adventures, but it had a lot of wear and tear, and if they continued on that ship, it was clear that they were going to be jeopardizing their safety. Now, obviously, Luffy and the others did not want to get rid of the ship, but it was the best thing to do. They did try to repair it, they did try to get advice regarding the ship, but ultimately, there was nothing they could do to save the Going Merry. For the most part, everyone understood this except Usopp, and Usopp had a more of an emotional response to it and was just not having it.
I see the Mary as one of our friends, got it? And I won't abandon her when she's hurt!
Don't be stupid! Even if she is a friend, that doesn't mean she's a person!
And even went as far as to challenge Luffy, his captain, to a duel over a ship that really couldn't sail anymore. For Usopp, he obviously lost the duel, but this almost cost him his place within the crew. As for Luffy, the reason why this is number 5, Luffy had to realize that respect has to mean something as a leader, and that sometimes being a captain isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Now, Zoro was not having that either, and he threatened to leave if Luffy did not enforce his position as a captain. So this was just a reality check for everyone involved, but Usopp kind of got the brunt of it, seeing as he almost lost his position within the Straw Hat crew. This next moment, y'all, actually gave me secondhand embarrassment, but coming at number 4, we have Bellamy. And I hate to say it, but Bellamy was absolutely one of those guys that just had to learn the hard way. He too was full of himself, loved to have an audience, and was just a downright bully. He even gave Luffy and Zoro a hard time, not realizing that Luffy didn't really deem Bellamy worth the effort at the time. It wasn't until Bellamy messed with Cricket, a buddy of Luffy's, that Luffy finally had enough and decided to put Bellamy in his place once and for all. And with one punch, nonetheless. Not only was this a savage reality check, but this was a pretty hard lesson as well. Now, this one isn't quite as humiliating as number 4 maybe, and I'm not even sure if this individual is capable of being humiliated or getting any sort of reality check, but I'd like to think his fight with Luffy is as close as it gets. So in the 3rd spot, we have Dofi. And I mean, Dofi is number 3 because he is of royal blood, he's entitled. I mean, the man's a villain, but he basically had everyone around him glazing him since he was a child. Yet when he came across Luffy, he basically lost everything. He pretty much took over Dressrosa, saying that it was entitled to him. Luffy came around, shattered his control of Dressrosa and the illusions that came with it, destroyed the Smiles Factory, and not only that, when Luffy defeated Dofi, Dofi was arrested and stripped of his title of warlord. In the end, despite all the precautions he took against Luffy, he still lost, which is kind of wild. Anyway, I won't go too deep into it, but Dofi's past is certainly an interesting one, and this is certainly not the first time he lost some of his titles before, so I honestly don't think this would be the end of Dofi, even if he is an impaled down. In the 2nd spot, we actually have Enel. Now, similar to Dofi, Enel thought very highly of himself. So much so that Enel considered himself a god of sorts.
我な虫けらに救いの手を差し伸べて解放してやった。神の務めとしてな。
And again, without spoiling too much, Luffy first came across Enel when he went to Skypiea, and let's just say things did not end well for Enel. Enel also severely underestimated Luffy, just like everyone else tends to do for some reason. At this point, no one should really be surprised by Luffy. It also didn't help that he was not a good opponent for Luffy, since Luffy has rubber abilities, while Enel's more lightning based. For someone like Enel who thinks he's this god to get defeated by someone like Luffy, I definitely feel like it deserves the number 2 spot. Lastly, saving the best for last, we have Luffy's moment with the Celestial Dragon. Not only are the Celestial Dragons considered royalty, but they're also a group of people that no one in their right mind would dare to strike or to defy. Not even pirates, not even marines. They're a really big deal and they're super corrupt and evil. I mean, they participate in some really horrific things and all of the world turns a blind eye to it. Anyway, this particular Celestial Dragon called himself trying to buy a slave at this auction that the Straw Hats were at because they were trying to get their friend back, whose name is Cammy. They were trying to do it in a covert way, but one thing led to another. One of their fisherman friends got shot by the Celestial Dragon, and it absolutely set Luffy off, and rightfully so. I'm sure someone of his status is not used to being checked, humbled, or anything of that nature, and that's what made this moment all the more satisfying, besides the fact that he absolutely deserved it. Anyway, y'all, that's pretty much all I have. The moments that I talked about are not the only moments Luffy has had to put someone in their place, but these are the ones that stood out to me the most and are the most memorable. Y'all be sure to let me know what y'all think down below. Would y'all take someone out? Would y'all add someone? Do y'all have a list of your own? Drop them down below. I love seeing the comments. Thank y'all for tuning in. SierraNovaa is out.